Welcome to Harlem Liberation School. We are a dynamic black nationalist and Pan-Africanist organization headquartered in Harlem, dedicated to empowering black people to, in the words of Brother Malcolm X, wake up, clean up, and stand up. Our mission is to equip you with the tools and knowledge needed to resist oppression and build thriving, independent communities. Here you'll find powerful black political education, deep liberation theory, and historical insights that connect our past struggles to present-day solutions. Through many courses, engaging documentaries, and inspiring commentary, we provide actionable information designed to spark change. Join us for thought-provoking interviews with brilliant activists, educators, and institution builders as we unite to build a better future for black people worldwide. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace and Black Power. Peace and Black Power families. Brother Agyei Tyehimba from Harlem Liberation School, where, as you should know by now, we teach black people to, in the words of Brother Malcolm X, wake up, clean up, and stand up. I think those are three of the most powerful statements and mantras and mottos that we can adjust our lives to, and we can live our lives. But what are you doing, black man? I'm waking up, I'm cleaning up, and I'm standing up. What more can you do if you're really seriously trying to do all three of those things? Well, we certainly want to say Wukusu to all the family joining us. You know, that's our greeting. It's an acronym of wake up, clean up, stand up. We hope that everyone is in good health financially, mentally, spiritually, and physically, in all those different parameters. We hope all gears are clicking, and we hope that if they're not, that you're working to make all gears click at the same time. We hope that you are spreading peace and love, and that you are operating and thinking in a spirit of abundance, and that you look in the mirror and see magnificence and see beauty and see works in progress, and know that whatever it is that we want, we can get if we go about it righteously, if we organize and we change the way we think. Anything we want is within our grasp, fam. Miracles happen when we change the way we think. Before I begin, I want to just see there's two quick comments. That's the Queen saying Wukusa to the family, and she's welcoming you all to Harlem Liberation School, which of course we absolutely support that, right? That's what it's all about. I want to make sure I have certain things up that I put up quickly on the bottom so that you know who we are, what we're about. We don't want any confusion. There's a lot of, when you have more and more people invading these social media spaces, there's more room for confusion. And we want to be crystal clear on who we are and what we represent. So I have something going on the bottom, a ticker that's kind of giving a brief history and telling you what our purpose and our objectives are. Today, we are talking about black people. It is time to cancel Netflix. I'm gonna say it again for those in the back, in the balcony, way in the balcony seats. Black people, we so quick to cancel each other over foolishness. I didn't like what that person said about feminism or about LGBT. So now we're gonna move to shut their YouTube channel. We're gonna move not to listen to that. Is such foolishness. But if we can move so assertively to cancel each other out over the smallest of issues, now it's time to put up or shut up. Let's cancel the white man for all the negativity and ugliness that he visits upon our people and our communities. We're going to get into that right now. Why should we cancel Netflix? I'm going to do this in two parts. First, what I want to do in a very dynamic way, I want to show you two quick videos that Harlem Liberation School has put out, because they're like under 1 minute each. Very quick, very powerful, designed to get the issues out very clearly and quickly. And then we're going to get into the issues. So let me start with the very first one. I think this is the first one we did. The Committee to Eliminate Media Offensive to African People wrote several letters and held several protests complaining about a show on Netflix they consider offensive to black people. They allege that a cartoon series called Times Reboot is inappropriate, racist, and disrespectful to members of the black, African, or African American community. Although it's a cartoon for adults, they fear it will attract the attention and viewership of our children, who will see images of themselves portrayed as violent, hypersexual, disrespectful, and ignorant. In a climate that is hostile to black people, we must resist any attempt to misrepresent and stigmatize who and how we are. For those reasons, they are asking black people to cancel all their Netflix subscriptions as soon as possible, because disrespecting our people is not okay. That was the first video Harlem Liberation School put up to kind of address this issue of canceling Netflix, what the basic issue were, and what the call to action was. And our hope is that it's on TikTok, it's on our YouTube channel here. Our hope is that y'all will watch it, you'll share the link, and you'll spread it so that, because, we can make anything viral. We can make anything popular that we choose to make popular, family. We got people stretching and going to the gym so they could do our hip hop dance moves. We got people doing Kendrick Lamar's walk. So they not like us, family. I've seen disabled communities, white communities, Asian communities, all types of people. We make things popular. We decide what's in. So instead of shaking our booties in front of the camera, let's make this type of video. These type of videos go viral. We have the power to do it. Now, the second video is just a short, little bit different angle and different visuals. I'm going to throw that on right now. They released Good Times Reboot, a vile racist cartoon disguised as adult entertainment. CEMOTAP, the Committee to Eliminate Media Offensive to African People, fought back. They filed an FCC complaint, but Netflix hides behind legal loopholes, refusing to take accountability. Now, you've heard the saying, when the cat's away, the mice come out to play. I think it's time we bring that black cat back, because people around this country and the world are feeling a little bit too comfortable disrespecting and mistreating us. If they don't respect us, we must shut them down. Hit Netflix where it hurts. Cancel your Netflix subscription today. Spread the word. Protect our children. Show that we have honor and we're not cowards. Stand up for our culture. Cancel Netflix now. Read the description for more information. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, having shown you the two quick little bite-sized videos we put up to get the word out, right? Using this YouTube thing to get the word out. Somebody done threw some money up at Harlem Liberation School. I'm ready to do the worm and do the robot on them. I'm so surprised that we think, I think that's the Queen Bee done threw that up. Let me see what she done did there. Lord, my Lord. You know what? Who's to say that y'all can't follow suit? Maybe y'all got $1, $5, whatever. We need money to make it happen. But look, let me put up a few quick important messages people are putting up here. And then I want to get right into it. The Queen says, if you like the content, support it. I believe this is my brother. This might be my brother Rollo. Brother Ra. UNIA Radio. He says, peace and power to Harlem Liberation School. The Fact Project is in the house. You know that the Fact Project goes on its own schedule, but I appear with Brother Ra the first Monday of every month at 10 a.m. So check out the Fact Project. Shout out to DJ Tiger, producing all that good hip-hop music. What's the Code is giving greetings to the family. What's the Code as summarized? They say cancel Netflix and exercise is a stretch. That's funny. Cancel Netflix and prepare healthy foods. Come on, What's the Code? That's right. That's right. Let's make that go viral. That's what I'm talking about. That positive message. So you get me amped. What's the Code? You get me amped up. The Queen says cancel Netflix and anything and anyone that disrespects us. But when I say cancel anyone, family, we're not talking about beginning any violence. I'm talking about keep them out of your atmosphere and orbit. Shut that down. Don't let their negative energy permeate our cipher. You feel me? What's the Code? says cancel Netflix and prep. Yes. Flashlight, batteries, canned goods, emergency kits. See, we are talking. We are cooking with hot grease, as my grandmother would have said. Family, I want now to pivot to a more serious energy about what's going on. I want to take you kind of quickly through what's happened thus far. And then I want to switch into why we must take this seriously. First and foremost, we want to shout out CEMOTAP. CEMOTAP is an acronym. It's the Committee to Eliminate Media Offensive to African People. CEMOTAP is staffed by some of our senior activists, definitely our intellectuals and our scholar activists. James McIntosh, Betty Dobson, and so many other people who've been fighting these corporate attempts to mischaracterize us and show us as bumbling idiots and buffoons and drug addicts and violent thugs and hypersexed individuals and menaces to society. For decades, they've had that fight. They're over in Queens. Shout out to Queens, New York, Jamaica in the building. And we support, of course, what they're doing. Here's the background. Around April of 2024, I'm going to say around April 12th of 2024, Netflix put out this cartoon called Good Times Reboot. CEMOTAP, from that time until about January, for months, was it calling them, sending emails. You know how we do? We do it the right way, the way we're taught, right? The signatures, the petitions, the phone calls, the letters. And when that doesn't work, we turn it up. We turn up when the nice way doesn't work. So after months and months of doing that, CEMOTAP stepped it up a little. Said, okay, so now we're going to file a complaint with the Federal Communications Commission, known as the FCC, against Netflix. On what grounds? Well, number one, that they had spent months trying to appeal to them and talk to them, and were getting dismissed, getting the runaround. But the main reason is the offensive content in the Good Times Reboot. Now, just so you know, you're saying Good Times Reboot, this is supposed to be the offspring of James and Florida Evans on the original Good Times series that most of us know and love, right? But it's it's a cartoon, but it's a cartoon for adults. So a lot of the themes, sex, violence, drugs, and all that's more adultish, but it's in an animated form. It's in a cartoon form. Therefore, what? It's going to attract who? Kids. If a child is, let's say, unsupervised, they're watching that, they click on Netflix, they see that, they think it's for them. It's in a cartoon form, right? So CEMOTAP very astutely recognized early on that this cartoon format that's supposed to be for adults, but it got all these child characters in it. It has obscene and inappropriate content. I'm going to give you some examples. I want to make it a little real while trying to keep it somewhat tasteful, because some of this stuff is very distasteful. They got an episode where a 12-year-old girl throws her menstrual blood at a boy in the school, and it's all over his face. They got a scene where a man is being intimate with his wife, and the shadow that they show of them, the man looks like an ape. So you might say that's bestiality, but I think it's really speaking to the way they see black men. Big, strong, ugly, gorillas. This goes back. Now, this trope goes way back. This is not new. Okay? There's an episode where a teacher is asking a student, these are grade school students, about a private porn site. And she makes sexual inferences or innuendos about his body. Let me see the size of those feet. What? Listen, if I would have came over to my mother in 4th or 5th grade talking about a teacher was saying they wanted to see how big my feet were, my mother would be like, what? And it would probably be at that school. We know what that's supposed to mean, right, ladies? Y'all know what it means. So that's inappropriate, because even if it is an adult cartoon for just adults, that's a kid in that scene, and that teacher's being inappropriate with that child, right? Or there's scenes where children are shown selling drugs, wielding machine guns all up in the hood, right? So despite a disclaimer that says, oh, we can get away with all this because it's for adults, the fact that the show has so many scenes with children in it that are inappropriate, some would say borderline pedophilic, some would say sexually deviant, and some would say blatantly catering to these racist stereotypes and racist tropes of Black men and women, right? So the show clearly targets children, and the show is in violation because even if it's for adults, the scenes involving children are just inappropriate. Now, when CEMOTAP addressed this with all these months and months of letters and meetings and calls, and then the FCC complaint, the FCC, what does the FCC say? Well, they say, well, they quote you the law. They know how to run that law down, don't they, when it behooves them. Oh, well, the law says, federal law, that obscene content on licensed TV and radio stations is okay, right? Given who it's targeting, and this type of thing. It says that they cannot regulate content on subscription services like Netflix. I'm gonna repeat that. This is the FCC, the federal government. Is saying when CEMOTAP addressed them about, yo, you gotta get rid of this. This is making us look terrible. This is introducing stuff to our kids we don't want in the form of a children's cartoon. Their response, oh, sorry, because normally we do deal with obscene content but it's only on licensed TV and radio stations, but we don't have jurisdiction when it comes to subscription services like Netflix. So the outcome was the FCC dismissed CEMOTAP's complaint due to the argument they have lack of authority or jurisdiction in that matter. CEMOTAP, being a very well-oiled and well-schooled Black organization, did not just say, oh, well, FCC dismissed it, too bad, it's over, right? They filed a new complaint now with the Federal Trade Commission. Why the Federal Trade Commission? This is very astute, by the way. Why? Instead of FCC, they went to the FTC. Why? Because there's a precedent. The FTC stopped the Joe the Camel advertising campaign for targeting children with cigarette smoking. They were advertising cigarettes, but they used a cartoon camel to do it in print and still advertisements and images, and also in animated images, right? And they were made to pay millions of dollars, by the way, for that infringement. CEMOTAP is arguing that Netflix show is far worse, and has far worse implications and reaches far more people than Joe the Camel advertising campaign ever did. And it has racial stereotypes, explicit sexual content, and children involved in harmful, illegal, unethical, and deviant activities, right? So as a result, the CEMOTAP has a call to action, and it's several parts. I'm going to outline. I'm going to share three with you. And then I'm going to break, see if there's any comments, and then we're going to get back to why you should take this. Oh, it's not just a TV show. What's the big deal? The parents can turn it on and turn it off. And you know how we like to weasel our way out of confrontation with white folk. But boy, we can jump on confrontation with each other, can't we? When it comes to challenging the people in power, we find reasons not to fight. Anyway, the calls to action. Cancel your Netflix subscription. We know that you cancel it now and you still have it until the end of the month or whatever, but that's what they're asking us to do. Cancel it. Number two, they're saying demand Netflix removes this cartoon, adult so-called cartoon called Good Times Reboot. Three, they're asking that you spread awareness through social media and community networks. You say, well, how am I going to do that? Well, I just showed you 2 TikTok videos that Harlem Liberation School has right now on TikTok. You can go right to TikTok and share them with all your people on TikTok. It's on Instagram. Go to my Instagram, Agyei Tyehimba. Share it with everybody you know on Instagram. And there's other things. If you go to CEMOTAP'S Facebook page, which is in the description section of this video, you can go, it's a link, you can click on it, go right to their page. You'll see all the updated information. Any videos that they have or produce, you can use as well. Right now, let me stop, take a quick pause, see if there's anybody that has anything they want to say. All right. Yes. Not funny at all. That's right. We got to know certain things are not funny. Certain things are we don't touch with humor. We leave it alone, right? Like death in the family. We ain't gonna make cracking jokes about. Nah, that's inappropriate, fam. We're gonna leave that alone, right? Sexual things with kids. That's not funny. We're not gonna laugh about that. We're gonna take that seriously. This is one of those cases that we have to take seriously. What's the code says that we should look into who runs the FCC. We should look into who runs the FTC. That is right and exact. The Camel was replaced with vape and sweet flavors. So, of course, white supremacy is so effective, one, because it creates fear amongst the people who should be resisting it, but also because of its unique ability to keep morphing, to keep transforming, to keep reinventing itself. So it went from straight chattel slavery to the 13th Amendment saying, no more chattel slavery. Now, if we lock you up in prison, you're our legal slave. So it just changed form, but it's the same thing. So that is right and exact. What's the code says cancel Netflix and save that money. That's right. And they say like, share, and subscribe, which of course we agree with. Now, let me now go, because some of us, I know we're like, well, Agyei, come on, man. That's the parents' thing. That's the parents' job, you know? It's like what we used to say with hip hop. With the negative hip hop music. Some of us take the approach, well, look, man, the people got the right, if they want to write songs about sexual assault and drug usage and drug abuse and fratricide or so-called black on black violence, that's the artist and the label's right. The parent is supposed to make sure that they turn the dial, right? Or put up a pin code so the kid can't get to certain stuff. And that's a valid argument. But how about this argument? How about in a civilization, there are certain things they should put in place so that things do not happen. Children should be protected, family. I'm sorry. Children should be protected. Children should not have to constantly be hearing these negative tropes that God or whatever put them on this earth to sell narcotics, to use narcotics, to be sexually inappropriate with their brothers or sisters, to hurt people, to visit harm and violence. Wrong. That's not a civilization. That's just a society. A civilization encourages people to be what? Civilized. So there's certain messages that we should not allow if it's up to me. I know this gets into that weird slippery slope of censorship, but I'm just saying, yo, maybe you shouldn't allow people to have actual songs about raping someone, family, like I've heard repeatedly. Nobody wants that to happen to them, so why would you allow music with those messages? Nobody wants anything to happen to their kids, so why would you allow that? Right? So I do want to address, this is an issue where we can't take, that's the parents, that's the parents' responsibility. No, the society has responsibilities too. And I want to address why we must take this seriously. So if I may, family, I'll try to be brief and to the point. The first thing is this. We must counter harmful narratives to protect our image, racist stereotypes in the media. And I don't care if it's movies, music, still images, postcards, greeting cards, cartoons, comic books, whatever. A man named Donald Bogle wrote an excellent book you should read called Tom, Coons, Mulattoes, Mammies, and Bucks. And he shows you a whole history of how the United States has used every form of media. Social media was not out then when he wrote it, in maybe the early 90s, to mischaracterize and stigmatize Black people. And therefore, that provided the justification for Jim Crow, the justification for the Ku Klux Klan killing us, the justification for lynching and all types of things, because they created an image that we were what? Subhuman, that we were violent, that we were threatening, that we were dumb, that we were irresponsible, that we couldn't handle responsibility. They even had it, family, so bad that they're going to do an operation sterilizing Black women without their knowledge and without their consent, because they had successfully created a narrative. One, Black women don't feel no pain. Two, that they were too dumb and irresponsible, right, to produce children who would be responsible and civil, and positive contributions to the community. So because they were able to put that idea across, that allowed them to justify these heinous and egregious actions against us. Because the only way that you can kill people who've done nothing wrong, hang them up, people coming from church. I have pictures where people coming home in their front Sunday best, two brothers hanging up in a tree, ties and all that on, dress shoes. They didn't do nothing to nobody. The only way you could do that is if you got an idea that that being is beneath an animal. There's some people in this world, I ain't going to talk about them, white folk, who will protect a dog more than they protect a Black man or woman in this society. And that's facts. Look at what they did to Michael Vick. That's another story. The point here is this. Portraying us as criminals, hypersexualized sex addicts, lazy, unintelligent people. These depictions of us shape public opinion. They contribute to real world discrimination, from over policing to hiring and firing practices, right? In real time. So speaking out against these narratives and these negative images challenges these harmful portrayals, and it kind of promotes an authentic, diverse, empowering representations or narratives of Black culture, history, and identity. That's the first reason we should take this seriously, and one of the first reasons we should say and do something about it. And not just, oh, that's just Netflix, that's whatever. That's between Netflix and the parents. No, this is a community issue that affects us, and we should stand up and do something. Number two, we have to influence policy and public perception. We have to see ourselves as stakeholders in what goes on cable networks, on social media, in politics and political party. People, I don't want to get involved. Why not? It affects you. You don't want to get involved in politics, but it affects you. You don't want to get involved in these discussions on education and immigration, but it affects you. Come on, family. Media representations impact how society and even legislators or lawmakers view Black communities. So in an anti-Black Donald Trump presidency, these stereotypes can be weaponized, and they are being weaponized to justify harmful policies that over policing. He basically gave the police carte blanche to do what they want when they're in an altercation with people, to exercise their judgment and discretion and not hold back. He said, don't hold back. From the president, right? It's used to justify voter suppression, economic disenfranchisement. So when we push back against these racist media portrayals, we're weakening the foundations of these arguments, and we're asserting our humanity in a political and social space, in political and social discourse or discussion. Asserting our humanity, what does that mean? We're showing agency. We're saying, just by the act of saying, nah, we don't like that. Just by saying that, you're saying a whole lot more. I am somebody. I'm valuable. I won't tolerate that. We have a right to say, all that is being said. And then when hundreds and thousands of us say it in unison, it makes the point even stronger, right? Number 3, we empower future generations. Young Black people, our youth, they consume this media family. They internalize these messages. They're not as astute. They're not as emotionally mature, not as psychologically mature. They're more impressionable, right? And if they're constantly exposed to degrading stereotypes, it not only can harm, the studies show it does harm their self-esteem. It limits their aspirations, what they feel they can be, what they feel they can achieve in this society, huh? And it influences how they are treated by others and how they allow themselves to be treated by others. That may be even more important. The things that they will tolerate behaviors from other people that are negative and egregious because they may start from the position, which is encouraged by negative media, that they are nothing, have nothing, and can be nothing. So if you come into the world like that, you'll take all types of people using the N word, like they say in Jesus Christ, God, Buddha, and Muhammad, like it's holy. And it's the only universally used racial slur in the world, where everyone uses that slur. What does that say to a young person? How do they take that? I must not be that important. They're never going to say it. It's not even a conscious thought, but subconsciously that gets through. I must not be important, because you can't say certain words to the LGBT community without getting checked. But you can say the N word all day. You can put it in your songs. You you can say it as a greeting. You can substitute it for my friend, my brother, my sister, and nobody says a word. So it must be all right for us to be shat upon, huh? Okay. When we challenge things, if we take this Netflix thing seriously and we challenge as a community, we say, nah, take that ish off the TV, put something else on, right? Or we shutting you down, and we're going to get all our allies around the country and the world to join us in shutting that down. You know what that does for these young people, man? It makes them feel what? I must be important. I'm going to tell you a story. I was at a school, and the kids were reporting that kids in the local schools were bullying them, taking their cell phones, taking their money, beating them up, jumping them. So as these reports came in, all the male teachers in that school, I was one, but there was at least 5 others, maybe up to 10, went out. When they came into school, we were on all the corners. All the corners. And when they left school, we were on certain corners where they went to the bus stops. And just us taking that stand, family. I can't tell you. And can I tell you who one of them brothers was, man? Brother Kaba Kameni, Professor Kaba Kameni, when he worked at the school with us. And I can't tell you the expressions on the faces of their parents and on those kids, knowing that they could joke around, we could talk, and they knew they were what? Safe. Black youth sometimes don't know what safe looks like. They grew up in worlds where it's routine for Black people never to feel safe. So when you take that position, the kids, the youth, they hear, oh, wow, they do that because they don't like what we're getting. They don't like what we're seeing. They don't like the depictions of us. That makes them feel I must be important because people are standing up for me. And they don't have to, right? That's important, family. And it gives them a sense of inspiration and empowerment. It teaches them, just the way I stand up for you, guess what we expect you to do? You stand up for yourself, and you stand up for the community as well. And the best way to teach it ain't just to preach it, it's to model it. So that is important. And I think that's mainly what I want to say. These things I shared are always important. But in this uniquely hostile and egregious political climate, where the police and the military and the corporations have been given a kind of a license to do you, Don't worry about making sure there's a fair representation of these type of people. And those, no, don't worry about that. You do you. What helps your bottom line? Whatever helps your bottom line, you do that. You enact that policy, and you got our carte blanche. You want to torture people that's immigrants, you want to treat them any way you want, you got carte blanche. You catch a black person, you think they the suspect, but don't even know. That's all right. You do what you got to do. That's the climate we're in. So in this type of climate, we absolutely must, even more so than normal, fight back and resist. We must fight back and resist. I really hope, family, we don't do this. I'm gonna find 100 reasons not to do shit thing that we do. I really hope we don't do that. I really hope we don't do that, because I'm looking at other communities, and you know how we like to idealize other communities. Oh, they stick together and they get their money in. Hey, we do too. We got our minds right. We know through our history, we've organized military to protect ourselves. Check. We know throughout history, we put money, pennies and nickels together and dollars and created mutual aid societies and credit unions and banks. Check. We know throughout history that we saw the schools wasn't working for us and miseducated our kids, and we created our own schools. Check. And I can keep going. We do just like them. So stop idealizing other people and idealize yourself. Look up to yourself the way you look up to Jews and all these other people. Huh? How about that? How about that? And we even created throughout history ways we dealt with race traitors and saboteurs and people who are running back, telling our activities to law enforcement officials. We've done all that, and we still do that, some of us who know the code. So family, please take this issue seriously. If you want to follow up, because I don't have time to go into every detail, I put the Facebook page, the link to CEMOTAP and their phone number. So if you want all the most up-to-date information, you can go right to them. Go right to the source. All we're doing is Harlem Liberation School. We're not leading this fight. What we're doing is supporting those who are leading the fight. And you know, there's a time that you're out in the front, and there's a time that you play support. Right now, Harlem Liberation School is playing just support, because we believe that, yeah, we should say something about this. Now, that does not negate parents' responsibilities. What you watching? It's okay. Let me watch it with you. Oh, no, that's not okay. We're not watching it. Yeah, the parents should be doing that. That's their part of the responsibility. But the society has a responsibility too. And we don't let them off the hook under some ultra-conservative, everything is in the parents. No, it is not. Just like parents don't make automatic weapons, or parents don't make ammunition, but parents got kids that get shot up in mass school shootings, right? So stop it. We got responsibility, and the government got responsibility, and it's our job to hold ourselves accountable and the society accountable in the ways that are relevant. So with that said, family, if there's nothing else anyone wants to say, wait a minute. UNIA Radio says cancel Netflix and watch Harlem Liberation. Hey, Harlem Liberation School. That's what's up. You know what would be hot? We have so many really good YouTube and TikToks and Instagram channels, family. Guess what? That it is actually feasible for you could watch a whole day. You could take it. I'm not suggesting you do this. Spend all your time on social media. But if you were to take a whole Saturday, I believe we have enough content that's really wholesome. And I'm talking about for kids, youth, and adults, and seniors, that you could spend a whole day watching Black people's channels with good content, political content, entertainment, sports, global affairs, what's going on in Burkina Faso, everything, right? So think about that. Glenn says, as a guy from California, I've had Black friends that were very nice. Like any race or color, there's good and bad. Everyone, evil is colorblind. Appreciate that comment. I look at that a tad bit differently. Don't have time to get into it right now, but thank you for watching and thank you for your comment. The Queen says, salute to UNIA. I believe that's Brother Rod in the building. And what's the code is agreeing with basically a lot of what we said from what I see. So, family, thank you for joining. Please, let's get activated. Please share. Go to it's in my name, the TikTok, and share those videos about what's going on with Netflix. Please, help us to help ourselves. Help us to support CEMOTAP. They made the call. We're supporting them. Some of you may be making a call one day for your organization. Wouldn't you want other organizations to support if it's a righteous and worthy one? So that's what we're doing, family. With that said, thank you. Peace and Black Power. Keep watching those shorts every day on YouTube and on channel. And if you haven't, please subscribe. Thank you for your time. Peace and Black Power.